I'm Darlene, your host for this podcast. We thank our sponsor, SeniorLivingGuide.com, who provides their online users with a one-stop solution to help seniors and their caregivers find and connect with the best next step in senior housing, senior living, or home health in one easy-to-navigate website. It's super easy peasy. And we want to thank you for joining us on this episode. If you enjoy our monthly Senior Focus podcast, we can be downloaded and followed most anywhere you enjoy your podcasts, such as Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and so much more. Today, our guests are Dr. Pam Tronetti and Janet Rooks. Dr. Tronetti is an osteopathic physician who specializes in geriatrics. Janet Rooks is a social worker and a dementia care specialist. They work together at the Parrish Senior Consultation Center, where they focus on the care of patients with dementia. Dr. Tronetti is the Director of Aging Services at Parrish, and Janet Rooks coordinates Parrish Senior Solutions, which provides education, resources, and support for seniors and caregivers. So today we're going to talk about something that is we all kind of need more information about. So did the pioneers look more like Mama Cass or Twiggy? So we're going to talk about the history of nutrition. All of our podcasts in the past all surround a little bit regarding nutrition, and it's super basic, and it's something we all kind of need to go back and take a look at. But when you turn on the TV, half the commercials are for weight loss. The other half are restaurants with like yummy, delicious, Instagrammable foods, that type of thing. We really in this country have an obsession with food and then weight. So it's like really kind of talking out of both sides of our mouths, in my opinion. The same with magazines. The front is about the latest diet fads, and then photos of overweight stars, and in the back are the scrumptious recipes. We see folks whose weight is killing them and folks who are starving themselves. So it runs the gamut.
It really does. And let's go back to basics. Let's go back to high school nutrition class and learn about what we should be eating.
That kind of sounds boring.
Oh, not with you two in this room. No way. Look, let's go back in time. Food was hard to find. It was hard to grow. It was hard to catch and kill. And really, most societies lived on the same meal over and over and over, the same small group of foods. And things were seasonal. If you wanted strawberries, there were 2 or 3 weeks in the summer that you would get strawberries. It's not going to the store and saying, well, I'm really in the mood for strawberry. Will it be strawberry Pop-Tart, strawberry pop, frozen strawberries, strawberry jam, strawberry cake? That has been lost. And people lived on 800 calories a day was about average.
Well, let's put this into perspective. An Egg McMuffin has 280 calories. Olive Garden's chicken Alfredo. Now, hold on, ladies.
I don't even want to know. This is going to kill me, right?
Yes. Turn down your radios, folks.
1,480 calories. That's a lot.
Yeah, and that Egg McMuffin even has meat on it. It has ham.
Yeah, it does.
Or Canadian bacon. Yes.
Plus the protein that's in the egg.
Yeah. So just to kind of clarify, going back to basics again, what is a calorie?
It is actually a unit of energy. Food is fuel. A calorie is, to get chemically precise, it's the amount of heat generated to raise 1 gram of water 1 degree Celsius. So the amount of calories in food is the amount of energy that they can give us.
Okay, so food is fuel. The average American eats 3,600 calories a day.
They better be running a marathon every single day.
And that's just the average American. The recommendation for moderately physical activity of a man is 2,000 calories. And that's just a recommendation. The recommendation for Weight Watchers, and now it's Wellness Wins, is 2,500 calories a day for a man, and that's to maintain their weight, and 2,000 calories for a woman, and that's maintaining. Now, if they're going to be losing weight, it's less than that. It's 2,000 for a man and $1,600 for a woman. Now, you can lose weight on that, but you've also got to be physically active.
And that's the key, is they're presupposing that you are busy and active. So let's bring us forward a little bit from primitive societies to the pioneers. I just found out that you love Little House on the Prairie.
Oh my gosh, now I'm embarrassed. But yes, I love Little House on the Prairie. It's something I grew up on, and it's something I will go back to and watch because it makes me happy.
Yeah. And yet we would not be too happy if we were living that life.
Oh, no.
Because just look at that. You're walking over rough terrain. You're plowing. It's not, gee, I think I'll have a little dish garden. It's, we better get this acre of garden hoed and weed and watered by carrying 5 gallons. And remember, a gallon of water is 8 pounds.
Right.
So that's 40 pounds of water.
That's why they had so many children back then.
And and plus they died in childbirth like quite a bit. But
this is true.
Even if you say, well, they rode horses. Well, you harnessed and hitched and drove horses, and it takes a certain amount of upper body strength to drive a team, and it takes a certain amount of lower body strength and back strength to sit on a horse. What was your housework? You did laundry out on the back porch.
You scrubbed your clothes.
And you scrubbed your walls because you heated with wood and coal. So, if I'm right, that's how Play-Doh started. It was actually to take the coal dust off your walls. And then when people stopped heating with those kind of fuels, they had all this recipe, and finally they added some color, and it became Play-Doh.
Oh, that's super cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
But
things you learn on this podcast.
I know, it's amazing, the useless information that I have accumulated over the years.
And the closest thing we have to that now is the Amish community. They have a rate of obesity of 4%, and that is almost phenomenal, really. And in 2019, 39% of American adults were obese, and 18% of our children were rated as obese by their pediatricians. The Amish, on the other hand, 4% obesity.
Yeah, and in case anybody is listening that doesn't know what we're talking about, that is a religious sect that based out of Germany came to America, and they stopped their technology in the late 1800s, feeling that the electricity and all these phone lines connected them too much to the outside world and took them away from their faith. So especially New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and actually Florida have Amish settlements that are, very much old school, plowing with horses,
making their own bread. Everything is from the earth, and they sew their clothes. I mean, they don't have cars except on maybe 1 or 2 cars and things, but they ride horse and buggy and everything. And they'll have the little stores and sell their products and everything. But it really is a down to earth, no pun intended, community that they live off the land.
Yeah, they're about as close as you're going to get to a Little House on the Prairie type setting. And I know one thing I was telling you about I watched an episode a few evenings ago where the fat lady was in the circus, and the town folk were making fun of this fat lady that was in the circus, but by today's standards she wasn't that large. But back then she was considered quite large, and to the point where she could be like in the circus. I thought that was really interesting that it's how things have changed so drastically.
Yeah. Well, the Amish community eat a very heavy diet, but they burn it off. They work it off. And, so their calorie intake and their calorie output, if we were to eat, we being those of us that work in an office and drive a car and this sort of thing, that our weight is going to go up because we're not working it off. I mean, we go to the gym, yes, we walk, and we exercise that way, but we're not burning off the calories that someone that is in that community is burning off those calories.
They're probably not getting processed calories either.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Yeah. So is there a difference between the calories in fat, carbs, and proteins?
Yes. Fat has 9 calories per gram. carbohydrates and proteins have 4 calories per gram.
So when you eat all these different types of nutrients, you need fat. You need fat in your diet.
Yeah, fat is not evil. And a lot of people talk about, well, what's trans fat? What kind of fat should I eat? There's 4 different types. There'll be a test, at the end. Monosaturated and polyunsaturated fats. They are liquid at room temperature. So corn oil, canola oil, olive oil, sunflower oil are all liquid. And then these good fats are also in fatty fish. Avocados, nuts, those are all the good fats. Saturated fat is found in red meat, dairy products, chicken, lard, butter fat. It's all delicious. Now, natural saturated fats that are not from meat or dairy is coconut, palm, and cocoa. And you might say to me, now, wait a minute. I've seen coconut oil that's liquid, but that's a specially treated, it's called fractionated coconut oil. It's distilled to turn it from a solid to a liquid. The trans fats, those are the bad fats, the ones you should really, really avoid. Yeah, they're kind of sort of available naturally, but mostly it's hydrogenated vegetable oil. And those are the ones that you're going to find in your packaged foods, your instant foods, your processed foods. And you really have to read those labels.
Absolutely, read those labels.
That is something I think a lot of people just grab and go. They don't really look at those labels. So that's a really good point. So what if you don't get enough fat in your diet, and what if you get too much?
Well, if
that's
you don't
balance.
Yeah. And if you don't get enough, you're going to have a rash. You're going to have hearing loss. You're going to have a weakened immune system. Vitamin deficiency, because these vitamins depend upon fat in your body to process it.
And the estrogen is, we make estrogen based on the body fat that we have. That's a necessary part to make hormones.
Absolutely. That's why the young girls will start their period and the body fat's needed.
Right, and that prevents osteoporosis later on.
Exactly.
The estrogen.
Exactly. Well, and too much fat, you have weight gain, coronary artery disease, because it's going to build up in your arteries. You have hardening of the arteries throughout your body. We hear hardening of the arteries in the carotid artery, but it's not just in the carotid artery. It's all going to be throughout your body, and that's not good.
No, definitely not good. Most heart doctors would agree that is not good. So let's talk about the proteins. What do they do? Because I know that this can be, some people are vegetarians. So how does this work exactly?
Well, they repair and create new tissue, especially muscles. And you don't think of vegetables creating muscles, because you mentioned the vegetarians, but they do. You need the protein to heal wounds, and most people don't know that. I mean, that you just think, well, it just happens. It's an important part of the blood. The
blood is thicker than water.
Absolutely. And the viscous, like your egg whites, it's very important. And it's needed for a biochemical reaction in the body. So it's really, really important. Now, don't eat too much. And we'll get to that later on.
But yeah, when we have people with wounds, with pressure sores, we draw labs. And if they have a low protein, we know we have to increase we actually check albumin. Maybe you've heard egg white albumin. It's basically a thickener to keep the blood thicker than water, keep it viscous, and carry other chemicals in the blood.
When I worked in the nursing home back years ago in the 80s, that was the one thing that we would look at when we'd see someone that would be admitted, and they would be frail, and with the pressure sores or whatever. This was up in Tennessee. That they weren't eating, they were with the dementia or whatever. That they would. It was lack of income. I mean, intake, not income, but intake.
Yeah,
right.
Sometimes that. And you started talking about the people who are vegetarian. A complete protein has all of the amino acids, all the building blocks you need, and that's meat and eggs and dairy. But there are incomplete proteins. There's whole societies that don't eat meat at all or very little. They're incomplete. They are completed by mixing them with a certain carbohydrate. And you'll see all the societies have like soy, tofu, and rice.
Right.
That'll help make that complete protein. Beans and corn, peanut butter on whole wheat bread. All of those things will then create that protein.
So it's probably important that if you decide to become a vegetarian, which I know a lot, that is really trending right now, to make sure you are researching that to make sure that you're not shortening yourself on the protein.
Absolutely.
And I love my beans and corn. Oh gosh, and I don't eat a lot of red meat. I don't eat red meat.
No, you don't.
I do not eat red meat. And
I didn't know this.
Yeah, and I haven't for years because I don't like the way it makes my body feel. But I eat a lot of chicken and fish, but I eat a lot of beans and rice and beans and corn, and it's just because of the way it makes my body feel. And I've lost quite a significant amount of weight. About 30 pounds, but I did it healthy, and I've done it by exercising, that sort of thing. So yes, I've learned the chemical part of how it all works together.
Yeah. So that's something to really look into and research. So how much protein should you eat, going off of just what Janet said?
Well, and this is where you could drive yourself crazy, because when you start looking at nutrition, it's 0.36 grams of protein per pound of body weight, or 0.8 grams per kilogram.
That hurts my brain.
I know, it really does.
It's math. It's math.
Yes, I was told there would be no math. But
Exactly.
Yeah, so let's make it easy. The average for an adult meal, 50 grams of protein. So, 50 cents, 50, just whatever you need to do to remember that, 50 grams. What does that mean? It means 2 ounces of pure protein. Remember that the foods you eat, like an egg, you say, well, that's pure protein. Well, no, because it has a yolk. There's other things in it. But once you do the chemical reactions, it goes down to 2 ounces of pure protein.
Well, yeah, and historically, meat was part of every meal. You had, back when my grandparents, it was bacon and eggs for breakfast. And then there were, it was ham or whatever for lunch. And then there was a big dinner. So it was part of every meal.
But before that, there wasn't a lot of meat. It was almost like a flavoring. Like when we go out for Chinese food and we, it's shrimp or it's beef. No, it was a small amount.
Well,
like in the prairie, Little House on the Prairie days.
They did stew. It seems like they did
a lot of stews.
A lot of stew. So it was potatoes with some meat in it.
Yeah. You had...
Or the ham hock in the beans to flavor it.
Yes.
Or, and lard in the potatoes to flavor them. Think about it, and it's different. But
Right.
And it was hard to get the 50 grams of protein a day.
Right.
And one squirrel for a family.
And I know you've eaten squirrel.
I have eaten squirrel. It tastes like chicken.
Oh, poor little squirrel.
But, when you're in the country, it's meat.
That's right.
It really is. I
I'm
have
just
eaten
teasing
squirrel.
ya.
Yeah. And I knew what I was eating.
Yeah.
And it was okay, but I refused to eat the rabbit.
Oh, the little
I wouldn't
bunnies.
eat the rabbit.
Yeah, yeah.
Now we get a half a chicken or a 16-ounce steak for lunch. And it's this whomping big, and I hear some of our dementia patients, they don't want to, they look at that big lunch and they don't even want to eat. It's just too much food.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
our portion sizes in this country are insane.
It's outrageous.
Yeah.
It's outrageous.
I've seen, so I did go to a restaurant that was absolutely amazing the other day, but the meals were served on a platter, not a plate. Each meal was on a platter. And I was just going, holy cow. I was just shocked at the portion sizes. And no one could eat all their meals. Everyone had to go. And I thought to myself, oh, the food cost that goes into this. So I'm doing the money side of it. But it's just crazy.
Ask for a to-go box when you first get there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I already know it's happening.
I mean, but I'd rather have them serve a smaller portion and knock $2 or $3 off the cost. But other people don't think that way. They think, I get to take something home.
Exactly.
But, we said 2 ounces of pure protein. You were just saying how we overeat. 4 ounces, half a cup of a burger, that would be a quarter pounder, is 21 grams of protein. 6 ounces of steak or chicken breast 26 grams of protein. Half a cup of cottage cheese, 3/4 a cup of yogurt, 14 grams. So you could have a 6-ounce chicken breast and a cup of yogurt, and you'd be darn close to that. You'd be at about 40 grams of protein a day. It's like, well, a yogurt is a snack for us, you know, and yeah, I had that one piece of chicken. Oh, but there's one left over. I'll just eat that piece too, just to get rid of it.
Right. So we've talked about eating too much protein, but I know with our seniors, sometimes they don't eat enough protein. So what happens when you eat too little?
Well, it's malnutrition. There's a couple different kinds. The kwashiorkor is when you see the little kids with the swollen bellies and the skinny arms and legs. That's a lack of protein. And the swollen belly is because the water is accumulating in there, the fluid, because you don't have the protein to move all the waste products of the body and the fluid around. Marasmus is overall, you know, lack of protein, lack of all the other nutrients. Sarcopenia is something we are watching a lot of in seniors because it's frailty. It's a real loss of muscle mass, more than you would expect. So that's your low protein. Now, can you eat too much protein? You absolutely positively can eat too much protein, and we worry about that. Just as a visual, you know, the kidneys are filters, and we're talking about microscopic levels, but to make it easier to visualize, picture netting like you would use to make wedding shower favors. Protein molecules are really big, and they go through that netting, which is a little too small for them, and they start punching holes and weakening the connections there. So high protein can cause severe kidney damage. So our patients with kidney disease, renal disease, we tell them you have to cut back on protein because it can cause more damage. And people are eating protein bars and protein shakes and everything else like it's going out of style, often not drinking enough water to flush it through, and they're doing some harm to themselves.
And they don't even know it. You know, they don't even know it.
Yeah.
Also, protein can't be stored, so it turns into fat.
Yeah.
You know, and most of this protein, they have fat that it makes them have weight gain, and it also causes coronary artery disease.
Yeah. Yeah, so a lot about that on the protein side. So I think that we're going to take a break, and then we're going to talk about something that I think is my favorite, carbs. I'm a carb girl. So we'll take a quick break, and then we'll talk about carbohydrates.
At Parrish Healthcare, we believe every life is poetry in motion, motivated by strength and determination. As your bone, muscle, and joint healthcare partners, we believe in blending the art of healing with the science of medicine to keep your body in motion. We believe in healing patients, healing families, and healing communities. For a free orthopedic health assessment, visit parrishhealthcare.com/orthoaware. Parrish Healthcare, where the art of healing comes to life.
Hey, Mom, how's the retirement home search coming?
Oh my gosh, I'm just so stressed out. I don't even know where to begin.
Well, why are you so stressed? What's the matter?
I don't know where to find anything. I just need everything in like one place and know what all the options are.
Does the idea of searching for senior housing seem overwhelming and you just aren't sure where to even begin? SeniorLivingGuide.com has great news for you. We offer a one-stop solution to take the stress out of your senior housing search. At SeniorLivingGuide.com, both our statewide Florida edition book and website are created to make your senior housing search very easy for you to navigate. We provide details on communities, including retirement, assisted living, skilled nursing, memory care, and home health, allowing you to decide which best fits your needs and then connecting you directly with those communities. Visit us online at SeniorLivingGuide.com and start your search today and start de-stressing.
At Parrish Healthcare, we believe in our community. We believe in keeping our community safe. We believe in the art of healing. We believe in healing patients, healing families, healing communities. We believe in the best and brightest working together for the common good. At Parrish Healthcare, our team focuses on you as an individual because every life is a work of art to us. Parrish Healthcare, where the art of healing comes to life. Visit parrishhealthcare.com/healthaware for a free health risk assessment.
All right, so welcome back, ladies. We're going to talk a little bit about carbohydrates. So tell me how these affect us, because I know when I think of carbs, I think of the bread on the table, which is, I would take a bread over steak any day.
You got that right. Cup of coffee and a piece of Italian bread with real butter.
Yum.
Got it.
Yeah, down. I'm down all day.
I want potatoes.
I do love potatoes, but I like mashed potatoes versus like a French fry. French fries I can, depending. Yeah. But yeah.
So your carbohydrates are sugar, starches, and cellulose. Cellulose is basically fiber. The sugar is sugar. It's a small molecule. The easiest way to think of starches is they're complex. They're complex sugars. Carbohydrates. There's natural sugars, of course. Fruit is, has fructose. There's lactose. Dextrose are in the starches. I know when I was a kid, we did this experiment in school where you chewed up a saltine cracker and lo and behold, it tasted sweet after a minute because you're releasing all those sugars. Sucrose is found in table sugar. So a teaspoon of sugar is 15 calories. A teaspoon of molasses is 20. A teaspoon of honey is 22. And I've never had anybody come in and say, Doc, I got to lay off the molasses. I'm just overdoing it. I'm just eating too much molasses. It's usually a little more complicated than that.
Right.
And the average American eats 17 teaspoons of sugar a day.
Oh, wow. But I'm assuming you don't mean with like the actual teaspoon.
No, it's
like
in the food.
Dipping it in.
It's in the food.
Like maybe my 2-year-old would have maybe done, but
yeah. It's in the food that we eat. Most of it is found hidden in the food.
Right.
In our yogurt, ketchup. You wouldn't think of ketchup having sugar in it, but it does.
Yeah, it actually has quite a bit, doesn't it?
It does, and there's some sugar-free ketchup out there, but it's it's hidden in there. Fruit juice, granola. Our granola bars have a lot of sugar in them. Coffee drinks, protein bars, energy drinks, our breakfast cereal.
Yeah, some of those have tons of sugar.
Yeah, and it's there.
Yeah.
Smoothies, our baked beans have a lot of. They have the molasses you're talking about, Doc.
Yeah.
Spaghetti sauce. And that's just to name a few. I mean, that's not all of them. That's just to name a few of them.
Yeah.
So read your labels.
Yeah. So, I think we've talked in the past about reading the labels. It's if you literally look at the back of some of these items and some of the labels, I have found that you read, you can't pronounce it, and come to find out it is a type of sugar.
Yeah.
And it'll be like 20 letters long and unpronounceable.
Well, and that's just it. Google search 56 names for sugar because what you'll see is they'll have 3 different types and you look and you go, oh, there's not much sugar in this, but there's fruit juice concentrate, which if you think about it, fruit, sugar, okay. Fruit juice is pure sugar. Barley malt, invert sugar, Florida crystals, malt syrup, agave, treacle, rice syrup, sucrose, corn syrup. There's just all kinds of hidden sugars.
Is agave considered a sugar? Oh. So I thought that was more of like a healthy alternative to sugar.
Well, that's like people say, well, honey's a healthy alternative to sugar. Yeah, it is. And if you put a little bit on your food, okay, great. But it's being mixed in with things you don't expect. You don't expect that your plate of spaghetti has sugar in it.
Right.
I facilitate a stroke survivor group. And I had the nutritionist, the dietitian, come over and talk to the group and taught them how to read the label. I had everybody bring their favorite food and bring the label. So we looked at the label, and it was amazing how much processed food was in their favorite food. But we taught them how to read the label, made them aware of it. And it was amazing over 6 months up to a year that they were still talking about reading their label. Also, not only what's in it. If you can't pronounce it, you probably shouldn't be eating it.
Right.
First of all, but the first 5 items on the label, the first one is the largest amount that's in there.
Yes.
So if it says tomatoes, then that's the largest amount in that.
Right.
Serving size. We learned that, and I'll just use a soup. Your can of soup is 2 servings, 2.5 servings. And it's like, oh my goodness, I eat that whole bowl. I open that can, I warm it up, and there's my bowl. It's 2 servings.
Yeah.
But my stroke survivor dudes and dudettes, they became empowered. They were reading these labels. They were, and they were saying, I spend time at the grocery store. I'm reading these labels. They were getting away from the processed food. Some of them brought in boxes of stuff, and they said, I'm never buying this again.
Processed foods are the worst.
Yeah, but they were also looking at sodium, which I know right now we're talking about sugar, but they were looking at the sodium. And, because of their own health, but they were looking at the hidden sodium in these products. And it was just amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had days where I didn't realize I had that much sodium, but by the end of the day, you can feel it.
You can, or
And
your
you're
feet
going,
get puffy.
What did I have today? And then you start kind of playing it back in your mind, and that must have had more sodium than I realized in it, because sodium will affect me if I have a lot of it, especially if it's, we're in Florida and it's hot.
And we can jump there to the salt because a lot of our older people go out to dinner a lot.
Oh, yes.
And the restaurant soups are so delicious, and they are just full of sodium.
Yeah.
And just like we're saying, you need fats, you need sodium.
Yeah.
When I first moved to Florida, I didn't know why I was feeling so bad and weak and sick. And somebody told me, you need more salt. You're not eating enough salt.
Oh, wow.
The average American has 10,000 milligrams of salt a day. Cardiac patients, we try to limit it to 2,000 or 4,000. But yeah, you're working out in the hot sun in Florida. That's why they developed Gatorade, for crying out loud. It's got sodium and potassium in it.
Yeah.
And see, and I'm the same way. I don't eat a lot of salt. And so I was having, when I mow the grass, I have the Gatorade that I drink when I get finished, because I found, there was one time I did, and I had the nausea, I had the lightheadedness and all this. So I have learned that I buy the Gatorade Zero and drink a half of one of them, and it makes a big difference, because if you just drink the water, all you're doing is just hydrating yourself. You're not getting that nutrients.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely. And, going back to the soups, I think, especially in seniors, you think if you order soup, you're eating healthy. And it depends on the soup.
Right. I mean, you can home make soup.
Right.
And it's going to be much healthier.
But maybe like a broccoli and cheese may not be so amazingly healthy. But yeah, but I think that,
leek.
Yes. I mean, I think that you associate soup a lot of times with a healthier choice, and sometimes it not necessarily is, I guess is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So let's chitty chat a little bit about vitamins, because vitamins, do people think potentially that I can eat not so amazing and then make up for it on the back end with vitamins?
And sometimes we have to tell people to do that, because we know that they're limited in processed food, because all they, it's either microwave dinner or nothing. But honestly, they're there in the vegetables and the fruits for a reason. You should be, they're vital. You want the real basic vitamins coming into your body via food.
Yeah.
Now, the recommended daily allowance, these were set in 1941, long time ago, and it's basically how many of this vitamin do I need? They give you the amount you need to keep from dying of the deficiency.
Right.
So,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, these were tough times back then.
Well, you just had the depression was going on, and there were a lot of stuff going on, and people were eating just what they could get their hands on.
Yeah.
We take vitamins for granted. We take food for granted. We take running water for granted, for crying out loud.
Yeah. Exactly. So there are fat-soluble and water-soluble vitamins, right? Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Vitamin A is a fat-soluble vitamin. They can be stored. They can build up in your system. They require fat to be processed. Egg yolks, liver, green leafy vegetables, yellow vegetables, carrots. You know, did you ever read about kids who ate too many carrots and they turned yellow?
Yes, actually, babies, if you give them a lot of carrots or sweet potatoes, you can kind of see their skin, because sometimes that's all they want when it comes to like the baby food. That's like their favorite. And so you give them more, and you can definitely tell a little bit of a difference.
Well, and the sweet potatoes and the carrots, they're more starchy. They're the starchy vegetables as opposed to green leafies. High doses of vitamin A, yes, they can be toxic. The classic story is that the Eskimos told the Arctic explorers, you can eat a polar bear, but don't eat the liver. Because that's where, the polar bears are living on fatty fish. That's where all their vitamin A is stored in their liver. We can't do that, so it would cause nausea, vomiting, liver failure, and death.
I will keep that in mind next time I go polar bear hunting.
It won't be a problem. I don't eat liver, so it's not a problem. The other fat soluble vitamin is vitamin D.
Yes.
We are here in Florida.
Yes.
And we are in the sunshine
We
state.
get quite a bit of
and we
vitamin
can
D.
get our vitamin D with the sunshine.
Not as much as we used to.
And no, because we're using sunscreen and it blocks it. But 15 minutes out in the sun, most folks are not going to get sunburned, and you can get a good dose of vitamin D. Cholesterol in our body is converted to sunshine into vitamin D.
And that's a problem because everybody's on cholesterol-lowering agents, and that's contributing to us not being able to process our own vitamin D because we don't have the basic ingredient.
Exactly. It's also found in fish liver. Fish, liver, and oils, and our egg yolks, as you mentioned.
Good old cod liver oil. Yeah, I know. And you'll notice if you buy a carton of milk, it'll say vitamin D enriched. Why is that? Vitamin D deficiency was devastating for children. We called it rickets.
Yeah.
Very weak bones. Do you guys know who the most famous literary rickets patient is?
No.
I have no idea.
Tiny Tim.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
And now remember, you're in London. It's all wood smoke. It's foggy. It's smoke everywhere. You get no sunlight. You're living on gruel, which is basically like an oatmeal. How did they treat rickets? They sent you to the seashore. And you would have fish, and you would have salads, and you would be out in the sunshine, and that's how it was treated.
I always feel like they were like, give me some rickets. Please, somebody give me some rickets. I need a vacay.
Oh, come on. So
that was a joke, by the way.
I know.
To anyone listening.
So now, vitamin D is important for your immune system. It's important for your bones. You can have too much. Again, too much vitamin D, you'll have too much calcium in your blood. You can get kidney stones, you can get bone pain, and all kinds of bad stuff can happen. So we do vitamin D levels.
Yeah, exactly. So the fat-soluble vitamins can build up in your body then. But water-soluble ones, are they not stored? So do we just keep replacing these?
Yeah, vitamin C is one of these. It's found in citrus, but it's also found in other foods. Our peppers, rose hips, parsnips, turnip greens. Oh, I love turnip greens. Kale. And, we're eating a lot of kale salads, smoothies, this sort of thing.
Yeah.
Brussels sprouts has made a big comeback. And a broccoli. And our tomatoes as well.
Some of my favorites at the end there.
Absolutely. And, fresh vegetables, even the frozen vegetables.
Perfect.
Now, you had your little TV show confession. Mine, of course, is Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman.
Oh.
And in one of those episodes, the Buffalo soldiers were coming through, and they had scurvy, vitamin C deficiency, and she said, you've got to eat these canned tomatoes. See, and we think of vitamin C, orange juice, but there's so many other things. So scurvy, what does it look like? It's you bruise. You have the bruises all over your body. In fact, there's some folks who will see those and will say, maybe you need to take a little extra vitamin C. I told my grandmother that years ago, and it helped that tremendously. You get shortness of breath. You get what's called corkscrew hairs, the hair on your body, on your thighs, on your arms. They look like little corkscrews.
Oh.
Now, I've only seen this in homeless alcoholics who really were not getting any nutrition whatsoever. The sailors, that's what you'd call something, oh, you scurvy dog. That's why, because they had scurvy.
Interesting.
The British Navy, the sailors, you remember what they were called in World War II?
Mm-mm.
The limeys. That's where that comes from, because they were eating limes for their
Oh,
vitamin
wow.
C on the ships.
The things we learn, Janet.
Oh, you limey, you.
So tell me a little bit about B vitamins.
Okay, the B vitamins, thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, pantothenic acid, peroxidine, biotin, folate, and cyanocobalamin.
She's showing out.
I was going to say she's got some fancy words now.
Those are doctor words.
Yes, I had to memorize those for medical school. B vitamins, absolutely crucial. And that's where you get enriched bread. In cereals, it's
Okay.
enriched with B vitamins, mostly thiamine, riboflavin, and niacin. Each vitamin D or B has its own deficiency. And there are different societies that everybody has this deficiency because there just aren't enough. Now, in the United States, we'll see B vitamin deficiencies, again, alcoholics, but people who have had gastric bypass.
Oh, yeah.
And don't forget, you can be overweight and malnourished.
Right.
So we think of somebody who's skinny saying, oh, they need vitamins. Well, maybe somebody who's overweight but eating all the processed foods
Right.
isn't getting the B
They're
vitamins.
eating junk food. Yeah.
Or you're just not absorbing vitamins the way you used to.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, and we think of B vitamins as an energy, as an energy vitamin. And B12, I know when our patients come in, you always check a B12 level. And a lot of them are deficient in B12. You know, it causes anemia, depression, and it also causes memory loss and neuropathy. So in getting that B12 level, I know you'll always order that.
Yeah, and there's something called intrinsic factor that helps you absorb B12. And some people lose that, or it's genetic. Those are the folks who need the B12 shots.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that for everybody to go out and get the B12 and all this, because you can take too much. But folic acid is also crucial in developing for the babies, for a pregnant mom.
Yeah. I remember being pregnant. That was something they really made sure you get.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's the difference for prescription vitamins. It's the amount of folic acid. It's folate is the natural vitamin. Folic acid is the synthetic. So it was really kind of fun when I had older people with folate deficiency, and I didn't have a lot of options, and I'd have to write for prenatal vitamins.
And they giggled.
Yes,
and
they
giggled.
did. They did,
giggled.
because there was enough folic acid.
Oh, God. You know, in a thiamine deficiency, we also see that in alcoholics. You know, I'd see it in the hospital. They would give the thiamine IVs for our patients that were in DTs, the delirium tremors.
From alcohol withdrawal. Yeah.
The big yellow bag.
And thiamine deficiency is called beriberi, and it's BERI. There's dry beriberi, which is the neuropathy, the loss of feeling in the feet because of nerve damage. There's cerebral brain beriberi. We used to call it Korsakoff syndrome, and it's the confusion, the dementia from this vitamin deficiency. And then wet beriberi is heart failure. So we don't think, oh, I need B vitamins for my heart, but yeah, you do.
Yeah, definitely. So doesn't B vitamin deficiency also cause what's called burning mouth syndrome?
Yeah, there's several causes for that. Some of our toothpastes are a little too harsh these days, and I'll say use a natural toothpaste. There's a few other medical causes, but yeah, we would always recommend multiple B vitamins.
Yeah. Yeah, you can buy a multiple B in
A
one
B complex.
A B complex, yeah. So what about minerals like iron and calcium? I know iron is something that a lot of folks don't want to take because of certain aspects of it, but it's still a very important vitamin.
Yeah. And I'd like to ask Janet, how are you getting your iron?
Well, I get my iron through my green leafy vegetables.
Okay.
Okay. You know, I'm trying to lower my cholesterol, so I really, I have my green leafy vegetables. And I eat healthy. I don't eat processed foods. And, I do my green leafy vegetables, also my watermelon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you eat mostly salads, like kale salads, spinach salads? Are those kind of your favorites? But
Yeah.
do you stay away from any type of particular lettuce that doesn't
I don't eat iceberg lettuce.
because it doesn't really have a lot of nutrients in
It doesn't. And it's water.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean,
if
know,
there was,
I'll
if
do
there
a
were
wedge.
ingredients, that would
Yeah.
be the first ingredient on
Yeah.
the package.
I'll do
Water.
a wedge salad with the blue cheese on it, but as far as sitting down and eating a salad, it's with all the
Really healthy
Yes,
ingredients.
yeah. And I lunch every day with Dr. Salad. I eat lunch every day with Dr. Salad with Dr. Tronetti, and I eat a healthy lunch.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. And
Yeah, you put a lot of soybeans and
Yeah.
nuts and everything.
I do, and
sliced turkey.
and raisins and this sort of thing. So it's not just a salad and I use flavored vinegar.
Honestly, it sounds delicious.
It really is, and it's
sounds
pretty,
delicious.
and it's
Yeah.
a pretty salad.
Yeah.
Because you eat first with your eyes, and it is pretty.
But you're making a conscious effort. You know about iron, and you're getting
Oh,
it
I
in.
do.
And what we're seeing is people who just have cut out red meat. They come in and they're tired.
Yeah.
They're short of breath. And it's all iron deficiency. We're seeing huge amounts of iron deficiency.
Yeah.
And now, Darlene, you started bad-mouthing iron just a moment ago, and I'm just going to, because I know where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Over-the-counter iron is constipating.
Yes.
Now, here's what many people will use instead.
It's kind of bad rap.
It has polysaccharide iron, and brand names are like New Iron and Niforex, is much less constipating. We call it non-constipating. It doesn't mean it's never going to constipate
Right.
you. The trouble is when you go to the shelves, you're not going to see it. It's kept behind the counter.
So you have to ask.
You have to ask the pharmacy, what's that non-constipating iron? It's a polysaccharide iron. It's about $30 a bottle. But is it worth it to you to not be constipated? Because otherwise you're spending money on laxatives.
Right.
So
You can wear dark sunglasses and a hat and go up there and just
Right.
ask for the non-constipating iron, and they won't know who you are.
there you go.
This is, if you didn't get anything out of this podcast, this is an absolute, could be a game changer for some folks.
And I also eat dry beans, and my dry beans are loaded in iron as well. So
There you go.
you can do it. And we're seeing more and more iron deficiency in the office because of people not eating red meat. They, a lot of people have cut it out.
Right.
We're trying to lower our cholesterol, as I was talking about, and people are eating alone, and and they just
You don't make a
You
roast.
don't make a
Yeah.
roast. They don't eat healthy or as healthy as they would if there was a whole family sitting there.
Yeah.
And and there's all, as you're talking about, those symptoms of iron tired blood. Like what you see on the commercial with the Geritol commercial.
The Ted Mack original amateur hour was mostly alcohol, by the way.
Or a Lucy commercial, or a Lucy segment of I've got iron,
Vitamita Vegemin.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was-
Yes. Yes. Oh my goodness.
So, again, I'm sorry, it's kind of triggered something because we were talking about iron and
Yes.
constipation, and that got me thinking about calcium.
Yes.
Because calcium is so important. That comes from your dairy products. Again, ballpark, any serving of a dairy food is about 300 milligrams of calcium. So, big glass of milk, slice of cheese, cottage cheese. We used to recommend huge amounts of calcium for osteoporosis. Now we notice that the calcium is just being deposited in the coronary arteries and in the joints and causing kidney stones. So we've backed away. We want people to get their calcium through their food. Unless you tell me, Doc, I can't eat any dairy products whatsoever. Okay, then, you can get supplements. Chewable antacids are calcium. There's all kinds of calcium out there. Calcium carbonate is constipating. And of course, just like the on-the-shelf iron that's cheaper, calcium carbonate is cheaper. That's why everybody buys it. Calcium citrate, Citracal, is one of the brand names. Remember Citrus, Florida, whatever you need to do to remember that.
It's got orange packaging.
There you go. I
Okay.
don't know. But I
I don't know why I know that, but I do.
It is less constipating or
Okay.
non-constipating. So when somebody comes to me and says, I'm constipated, that's one of the first things I say. Are you taking calcium and iron?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, that is really great information as well. And I like the chewable antacid.
Yeah.
That is something I did not know either.
Yeah, that's
great. Because some people don't do well with dairy. They just aren't tolerant to dairy. So, okay. So what are the trace elements?
Now, these are things that you just need in very, very minute quantities. And if you read your vitamin packaging, it'll have this whole list of zinc and selenium and chromium and molybdenum and all these things that, again, that you absolutely positively need, but you don't need a whole lot of, thank goodness.
So maybe that would be found in a multivitamin?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Vitamin with minerals.
Vitamin with minerals. Okay, to look for that. Because otherwise you've got like a whole counter full of crazy vitamins.
Well, and people will ask me, are the more expensive health food store vitamins that you take individually, are they better than just a basic vitamin off the shelf?
That's a good question.
And honestly, the people who do take the separate vitamins, they seem to be more health conscious and they seem to be healthier, but they're expensive.
Yeah.
And I tried that for about a week and my stomach couldn't take it.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So it's like a good old product named Centrum, that really helps. And by the way, the difference between the silver vitamins versus the regular, it has to do with iron. There's no iron in like the Centrum silver, or there's a whole lot less, because at one time they thought iron was bad for older people.
Oh, interesting.
So that helped develop it. Now, of course, there's more B12 in the silvers. There's a few other changes, but I just go with a regular basic one because I want my patients to have a little iron.
No, I like that. That's good news. Yeah, really good stuff. So to wrap up, seniors should be more aware of what they're eating.
Yes, please.
And then take a moment to read. I am such an advocate of reading those labels. If you can't pronounce it, don't buy it. And looking at the ingredients as far as calories, sugars, proteins, carbohydrates. Anything else, ladies?
Well, just remember that food is fuel. It contains building blocks that your body really, really needs. And don't skip a meal.
And one of my little bon mots is, if everything on your plate is brown, you're probably malnourished. If you have...
Yeah, that's a pretty boring plate. You need something green on there.
You do. Green, red.
Green. Yeah.
Where's all the blue food?
Yeah.
I demand more blue food.
Yeah. A pretty plate. You need a balanced, pretty plate.
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of SeniorLivingGuide.com. If you enjoy our monthly Senior Focus podcast, we can be downloaded and followed most anywhere you enjoy your podcasts, such as Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, and so much more. And we thank our sponsors from Parrish Healthcare. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.